Welcome to the first episode of this consulting podcast series. I'm Devansh Dikshit. I've just entered my second year, and I'm pursuing computer science at BITS Pilani KK Birla Goa campus. And I'm your host for today. So basically, we at BGCC help passionate students of BITS Goa get a flavor of consulting, prepare them for consulting interviews, and expose them to live projects. We are a team of 40 members, and we have done over 6 live projects, including some paid projects, and are constantly increasing our network and experience by meeting new people, getting experts, and organizing all these events that you are seeing. One being right now. So today's session is basically about intro to consulting. What is consulting about? What is management consulting? And I'm honored to have our guests with us, Akshay, Raghav, and Ayush. So without further ado, let's get started.
Hi everyone, wonderful to be there back with the campus. For those who don't know me, I'm a 2018 graduate from BITS Goa, currently working with McKinsey and Company as a senior business analyst for the past 2 odd years now. And yeah, look forward to having this discussion.
Excellent. Thanks for joining me. Raghav.
Hi everyone, it feels great to be here. I am a BCom Honors graduate from Hindu College, Delhi University, post which I joined BCG, worked there as a research associate for almost 22 months. Then I joined IIM Lucknow. I'm a part of the Consulting and Strategy Club and a BCG PPO holder at the campus. Looking forward to a good interaction.
Thanks for joining in. Ayush.
Yeah, so hi everyone. I am from NSIT Delhi. I graduated in 2015, post which I worked mainly with Ernst & Young in its consulting practice. Before joining IIM Lucknow, I was working with few political parties for their political strategies. And then I joined IIM Lucknow, where I am part of Consulting and Strategy Club. And I interned with Bain & Company and looking forward to join the same next year.
We are honored and it's a great pleasure to interact with such great people. So without further ado, let's get started. So the basic question that comes to any newbie is, what exactly is management consulting, or what exactly is consulting for that matter? Especially being from an engineering background and studying engineering. So what exactly is consulting?
So if I go first, for me, the consulting is solving business problems. Or if I have to give a very out of the world like example, sometimes I do give, is doctor like cures people, find their problems. We are doctors of business. We find problems find problems and give solution to the businesses. And yeah, that's it. And we do whatever it needs to help our clients to succeed.
Sounds interesting. Akshay and Raghav.
For me, it's a very personalized definition that I have. It's a very one-liner that I define management consulting as. It's getting the seat on the table and bringing value. That is what I feel is management consulting. You will be able to sit with the board of directors of the company, advising them on the strategy that they should use in the next 5-10 years. And at the same time, you should also be able to bring value to the table.
So this is a very personal doubt. So this doubt always was there in my mind when I started consulting. Like it has been like 3-4 months after getting inducted into this club. So for example, let's say I'm a tech expert, I am working at Google and I know everything about coding and software development. So I don't know how to phrase this, but मैं जैसे expert हूँ एक चीज का, तो मुझे generally ज़्यादा idea होगा ना कि कैसे काम करना है. So why do we need a consultant in that case?
Yeah. So yes. Consultant is not an expert. Consultant is a generalist by the profession. He's just a good problem solver.
Okay.
He has a wider perspective on things that he or she can bring on the table. And that is where you add value. You have to identify certain aspects that probably the top management is missing out on. Either they don't have the data or the insights on it, or you have certain specific resources or some databases or tools that you bring to the table and help analyze the data and generate insights out of this, and which in turn are used to create the strategies.
Yeah. Someone would like
Just
to
add that I think something that I've also thought, right, when I was entering, so how can a generalist actually provide value over experts, or even to say a CEO, right, who's say 30 years into a mining company, how can someone professional graduate actually provide value, right? But there are two, three things there. Number one is you don't enter the the seat on the table as Raghav mentioned alone, right? You enter as a company, correct? And with that, you bring the entire system to work and improve that particular metric, right? So, taking the mining example, I might not know anything about mining, but A, I know about business, and B, my firm has multiple resources and experts, including benchmarks, best-in-class practices on that particular topic. And therefore, the entire system works together to sort of resolve that particular problem, right? And that's the core of any consultancy, right? You don't work in silos; you work together as one complete firm and drive impact, right? And therefore you see a lot of experts, you see a lot of experts being hired, you see a lot of sort of specialists being hired, but the core generalist advantage is the fact that you are at your heart of a strong first principle problem solver, right? And therefore, irrespective of the field, irrespective of the specialization required or not, you are there to understand the problem, break it down effectively, structure the solution, and help solve it. That's the value that you personally and your firm together as a whole brings to it.
Going on to the next question, we have like, what exactly are the kind of problems that you solve every day, and what are the projects that you undertake usually?
That's a tough question, but like it can be any business problem you can think of. I really can't define it in any manner. It can be of any domain like marketing, HR, finance, or anything or any sector. So, literally, like anything which impacts a firm or defines the value for the firm, we there is some consulting firm who might be working there or who can work there.
I think this is actually a very open-ended question, and there is no one answer to this. So if you think from value chain perspective, the value chain starts from selection of suppliers to your after-sale services, or maybe when your cash is received. So any problem that could arise within this chain is actually a business problem that could be solved through management consulting.
Akshay?
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think irrespective of irrespective of the function, the industry, you're solving core issues at hand for the management. Uh, for example, it can be how much output a particular mining company is giving, or the strategy, the 5 year strategy for any tech major, for example, anything and everything basically. Yeah.
Okay, so this is another personal question. So, for example, what skills should one have to become a consultant? Or, for example, how do I know if I'm ready for that post, or if I should become a consultant, or like what skills should I have, or what skills should I discover or make or build on to become a consultant?
I think multiple things, right? Number, just a natural inclination and interest to understand what's happening and think through the problem solving that would have probably gone in the background. That would be one. Number two, and a learnable skill set is about how you communicate, right? And how you work in a team. But I think those, a lot of them can be learned on the job. Naturally, you just need to be genuinely interested in solving business problems. I think I think it's about knowing what it is and then sort of experiencing it and then making a choice if it's for you or not. Sorry, over to Ayush.
Yeah, so from more than the skills perspective, okay, if you want this answer that how to decide that whether this is the right thing for you, I would just say from my perspective, what really attracts me to consulting, the two things, the sheer amount of learning it gives. If solving new problem each day gives you a kick, then and any problem, not a problem of your choice, if you have and you can build that kind of capability, and if you want to build that kind of capability, then like consulting is for you. For me, that is the key thing. And there are obviously other benefits and perks which like attracts me to consulting, but this is always the base fundamental of it.
Raghav?
One or two things to add here from what Akshay mentioned. You also have to be good at people management because you deal not only dealing with your own team, you'll also be dealing with client. So things like getting data from the client, sharing your analysis with the client, getting his or her inputs, etc., matters a lot in consulting. So client management is one thing. Second is you should have business sense. You should be able to identify the insights and then connect those two dots and come up with a business implication of it.
Do you think it's for you? If that's the question we want to answer, I don't think there is any set criteria. I think the closest one, which is also not true for all of them, is do you enjoy have an actual inclination to learn about business and sort of think about business problems. But that's also I think learnable, and I'm a personal example of it. I was not into it till I actually thought about it. So the just the first part on what all you need is well said by Raghav and Ayush. But if you're thinking about whether it's for you or not, I think the only way is to just know that you will get to learn the business part of a lot of industries and explore a lot of it. If that sounds exciting, definitely experience it in some form or not, and then take a call for yourself, right? Because all of the other skills I personally believe are learnable, right, on the go, and sort of you can have the intrinsics, but yeah, everything else can be sort of learned on the go.
Yeah, sounds cool. Talking about problem solving. So, for example, if you're given a business problem, what is generally your approach towards it? So, if you'd like to elaborate on that.
Well, I think so when you get a problem, then before starting with the problem straight away, it's important to develop an understanding of the problem first. That if in case you're not aware of the industry, starts with developing an understanding on the industry, then you move to the client and a bit on the competition if the business problem requires that. Then you move on to understanding the problem or the process which is involved. So it's really important to ask the right set of questions if you are sitting with a client or if you're sitting with somebody who's explaining you uh, the whole scenario or the whole context. So it's important to be attentive and ask the right set of questions before actually start thinking about how could you either solve it or start giving certain recommendations right away. That is how the problem solving starts. Are you sure, Akshay, you want to take this forward?
Sure. No, completely agree, Raghav. I think uh, it obviously depends on the problem, but if there's a there is some sort of structure to it, right? In terms of scoping out the actual situation, right? So, very lame, but say company X is facing low profitability, right? So uh, you don't necessarily follow the structure really of drawing it on the board, but you essentially in your mind think about profitability as revenue minus cost, and then you drive down levers into each, right, and see where the core issue is coming out, right? So once you're able to scope it out and support it with both theory and data, uh, then you work on a roadmap to actually how to solve it, right? And it can be anything from a 3 month problem to a 6 month problem to a 12 month or 24 month end-to-end transformation, right? And if we prepare the roadmap and you divide it into further sub work streams depending on what that issue tree was, and that's how you would typically solve it. But as Raghav mentioned, I think scoping it out, understanding the situation, understanding the problem to the nth level before you actually start solving it really is more about what consulting is, right?
Yeah, peaceful. Okay, so like, let's move on to some personal questions. Like Akshay, what is like a normal day at like please, yeah. What's your normal day like?
Sure. So a normal day is again, I want to give the easiest answer, which is it depends, which is the truest answer. But if I have to give you some sense, right, it will typically start with, I mean, say I'm on a project, so it will typically start with a check-in with your team and detailing out the priorities for the day, right? post which you can either focus on doing your own analysis and drawing your insights, or talking to the client and co-creating the answer with them, uh, followed by uh, preparing the communication for that answer. I think is equally important, right? Because you can go to the next level, but the management will obviously want to get the broader picture from you. So, preparing the broader top level communication for that particular insight, and how do you actually uh, communicate it A and then implement it, right? So, how do you actually solve the issue? So, following a brief analysis, either self or co-creating with the client, you move to the communication of the insight and drawing out the implementation, and then you work with the client to actually solve it. So that's typically say till the regular office hours you're working with the client and trying to solve, co-create and solve with them. Then you will sort of in the later hours of the day you'll actually think about how to present the insights and preparing the documents, etc. for that. But I mean, this is super random and it depends completely on the day. So yeah, I mean, hi Shragu. I know you will definitely agree, but what else?
Uh, uh, how was your summer internship, and Raghav and Ayush, what your experience of that?
Typically very similar day, because my day used to start again with a check-in with the team, with our project leaders, etc. And we used to set out clear priorities, number them in terms of what is priority one, what is priority two for the day, and then in case we used to deviate from it or something, then we used to have an evening check-in as well, wherein we used to tell that this is something that I have achieved throughout the day. So priority one and priority two maybe are done, and my next set of priorities are these before I close for the day. The client interaction aspects, the problem solving or the thinking aspects is something Akshay has already mentioned.
Okay. So what is
I think before Dimash, before we move forward, I think it's very important to have these check-ins, especially in a COVID scenario, wherein you are working in an online mode and nobody knows what you are doing throughout the day. In a normal scenario, you will be sitting out of the same room that everybody is sitting. You'll be discussing things with them throughout the day, even as and when you are stuck. However, in this scenario, that might not be possible because somebody would be in a totally different situation than you. So it's very important to align on to first define the goals for the day and then align on them through an evening check-in.
yeah. Wow. So, like, my next question was, what is your favorite part of being a consultant? Everyone loves different aspects about their job. So, what is your favorite aspect about consulting, being a consultant?
So for me, one of the favorite aspects I already told you, but more than that, or I would say it's the people. Be it like clients, be it your teammates, you phenomenally learn, enjoy, and get a top-notch exposure with the kind of people you deal with while being a consultant. Be it on client side or with the team.
100% agree, right? I think consulting is about the people, and I think all of us can agree that the people are amazing. The kind of inspirational people you interact with, super smart, super down to earth, and just always ready to be helpful and actually sort of support you in any and everywhere, right? So I think people for sure, 100%. Number two would ideally be the ability to have this level of impact at our tenure, which is not typically seen in other comparative tenure, but just the fact that you can work on CXO issues, understand what's on their mind, and have a say in changing how things are being done. Right? I think that's personally for me a great kick to sort of and a reason to get out of the bed every day. Right? Just the fact that you're working on real high impact issues and trying to solve them. So,
I would actually agree with that. So for me also, people of course are one of the factors that one considers before getting into management consulting. But for me also, I think impact is one of the most important factors. There is this personal story attached to it. I joined BCG, but at that time I didn't know whether I want to be a management consultant or not. But there was this one project that we did, and after the project was over, uh, it was a due diligence project. So that deal and everything was covered in the newspapers. So one day morning, when I opened my newspaper, I realized that this is the project that I was working on. I think
Oh,
that was the day that I decided that I want this in my life. And then that was when I chose that I would like to be a management consultant in the future.
amazing, amazing. Uh, fine. So, like, I have a question. Where do consultants end up? Like, I was supposed to ask this. What after consulting, or where do you guys think, like, after 10 years or after 15 years, would you still be doing consulting, or what all options do I have after consulting, after being a consultant?
Yeah, I think there is a good saying that in fact that you don't look in consulting as a career, you don't look at 10 years or 15 years. You look at every 2 years whether you still want to continue or not. So every 2 years you should decide if this is something that you still enjoy, then go ahead and do it. If you're not enjoying it, then maybe it's the right time to switch. So let's not think that once a consultant enters into a firm, or he or she is looking at a 10 or 15-year tenure already. I think everybody or most of them look at 2 years of tenure and then decide after every 2 years. In terms of exit opportunities, I think most of them usually go to the industries wherein they either take a CXO role or a strategy head or a director role, usually. Then there are other PEBC firms also which like to hire previous consultants. And some of them also go on to start their own ventures.
Now my next question is a lot. Okay, so being in an engineering college, if I want to move into consulting or get into that field, what other steps I should take? Or for example, if one wants to switch fields to consulting, what all steps does one need to take to do that? Akshay, you were an alumni of Bitskoa, so how did you? Uh,
Sure, sure.
yeah.
So two, three paths, right? You can uh, coming from a select few colleges, you can directly join post your undergrad, right? Either in whatever firms that come to your campus as on a management consultant. That's one. Number two is the lateral hiring post some years of undergrad. Typically very rare, but still not unheard of, right? So that's number two. Number three is then going through the free MBA route, right? And as Raghav and Ayush and a lot of companies actually go to some placements or final placements and get selected to that. So I think those are the three broad paths. Yeah. For our tenure, I mean, obviously you can get hired as a senior expert later on. For our tenure, either post undergrad, lateral hire after a few years of undergrad work, it's 1, 2, 3 at the max, or through an MBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like totally agree to it. Either through like if you are from select campuses, then the campus placements, or then depends upon the type of firm. You can even like as a fresher as well get a referral and work for them, and then later on shift to like better firms. And also if you join something else laterally without even MBA, you can get to certain kind of firms. If you want to get into a top-notch consulting firm, then either you are from those specific campuses, or you have to do an MBA from an top IIM or an ISB to like get through it. So these are the like typical routes if you want to work as a consultant being an engineer.
Fine. So this is like the last question that I have. For example, if I work in the industry for let's say 40 years, can I then become a consultant? Can give a private consulting or consultancy based on my experience, just based on my experience? Can I do that? Is that a great option?
Yeah. So if you have like 40 years of experience and you have like certain credentials, then like there are two things. Either obviously you can start your own consulting firm and like consult them. You can have a, and you can individually consult as well, but many people what they do is uh, all these top firms have on their panel certain specialists or knowledge experts, and where they kind of bill per hour of giving those high quality high knowledge advices. So that is something which many people do prefer, because it gives like best of both worlds. It like saves you from rigors as well, but it gives you exposure to consulting, and it also helps you to leverage your knowledge and
Experience.
get some good bucks as well.
Great. Raghav, Akshay, would you like to add something to it?
Yes, pretty much the same thing. So these people, or if, let's take an example of a CXO who's been into FMCG industry for almost 40 years now, since the beginning of his career, his or her career. So he or she can actually get into or open a private consulting firm. And so what these typical top-notch consulting firms do is they have certain external agencies paneled with them. Now these agencies are the ones who help tap these external experts in case a particular capability is not available internally in the firm. So there you get paid per hour, as Ayush was mentioning. And that happens, that is a usual thing. That's not a very unusual thing that happens in these consulting firms. It's a very usual thing. Usually happens every 2 or 3 cases.
So is it like a consultant for the consulting firm? Like
He's like an expert for a consulting firm.
expert for it. Yeah. Akshay, is that would you like to add something?
No, absolutely agree.
Is there anything that I missed, or would you like to say anything about any additions? Like, would you like to say something, or you can stop it here?
No, that's it, I guess. Anything else? That's it.
If there is nothing to add, then I think we can.
For me, I would say that mostly things are covered, for because it's like targeted at like Goa and at undergrad colleges. Only thing, if you are like really passionate about consulting, take up internships, be it in startups or something, work on various types of business problems. See if working with business, coming from a technology background, working on those problems interests you, diversity of problem interests you. That is how you will understand that whether like this is something which is for you or not. And rest other things like being on the table, good people, maybe travel, 5-star hotels and everything are add-ons, but this is a fundamental crux. And learning or experiencing it by doing such things is the thing which you guys look at. Like in VGCC you guys have started the live projects and all, so I believe that that is one of the good medium where people can get exposed to business problems and solve problems. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Raghav, would you like to add something?
I think for someone who's evaluating whether consulting is the right career choice for him or her, it's important, I think, to first understand what the job entails, what is the type of work that you would do, what would be the working hours, what would be the expectations from you as a management consultant, and then do an internship and then see if this is something you would want to continue with.
So should I stop the recording? You guys can do. You're done. Yeah. Thanks a lot for taking out time and coming for this session. It was amazing to interact with such great people. Yeah.
No worries.
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks man, so same here.
Thanks, Devansh.
Thanks for
Thank you.
inviting
Thanks,
Thanks.
us.
Akshay. Thanks, Ayush.